so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. It's a choice. So happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want. It's a choice. Freedom is a must. We have to become the spoon.
I'm back. Deep diver. Shout out to everyone who's here. Everyone who's diving deep. Let me shout out to Judy. Judy, you're so appreciated. Video game controller evolves. Shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. We're starting off right. Shout out to everyone who's here. Like I say, deep divers, I'm back. You know, I was actually just trying to configure this whole live streaming thing. You know, I got to come correct, deep divers. Shout out to everyone who's here. Like I say, it's 11/11. It's a powerful day today. You know, the 11/11 portal. We ain't wasting time. First and foremost, let me shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's in the live stream. We're back, right? Like I said, I'm just so grateful to be here. So grateful to be here with you amazing deep divers. Shout out to everyone. How you feeling today, deep divers? How's everyone feeling today on the 11/11, right? On the 11/11, because this whole portal is just cracked open. It's just cracked open. First and foremost, shout out to everyone who's been getting the book Feel Alive by Ralph Smart at ralphsmart.com/the book. #1 best-selling book. Also, the book of 1111 Infinite Quotes, the secret recipe to becoming your greatest version, and of course, the Good Ass Prana shirts, ralphsmart.com/close. Hey, Judy, you got an avocado. Like anytime you give thanks, you get an avocado dance. That's a secret, deep divers, right? Shout out to everyone who's here. So, we got a lot to talk about, deep divers. So much to talk about because so much is happening right now on the planet. It's crazy. It's crazy. In a good way. In a good way. This is the 11/11, right? This is the 11/11. The 11/11 portal. Like I always tell you, we're in a time right now where we have to realize the monumental energy that's hitting the planet right now. Never before in the history of the world have we experienced this kind of energy on the planet. What does the energy feel like, deep divers? That's first and foremost. What does the energy feel like right now on the planet? I told you. What did I tell you years ago? There's a split that's happening. Didn't I tell you that? There's a split happening between 3D and 5D. You see, everything happening right now in the world, whether it's with Israel and Gaza, Palestine, all of that stuff, this is all tying into the 11/11. First and foremost, 11/11 is symbolic as the Remembrance Day, right? Symbolizing 1918, World War I, when they said, okay, it's time to stop. So symbolically speaking, 11/11 is a portal of peace. Let me repeat that. I don't think a lot of you heard that. Symbolically speaking, 11/11 is a portal of peace. This is a remembrance day to say, wait a second, war, huh? Yeah, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. You know, a lot of people can feel the chaos happening right now on the planet between Israel and Gaza, and a lot of people, it's terrible what happened to Israel, but it's also terrible what is happening to Gaza. Over 11,000 people have been killed. Half of them are children. So this 11/11 is all about remembering that actually humanity has to do better. That's first and foremost. You know, there were protests all around the world. Even in the UK, they had 1 million people protesting. 1 million, nearly 1 million people protesting, saying actually enough is enough. These are the signs of the times we're living in right now. And it's really time to wake up, because you see, humanity ain't going to take it anymore. Humanity is not going to take it anymore. Let me shout out to Casey Davis in the house. Thank you so much for all you do. I've been watching since 2013. It's helped me so much. Wait, can we get a Don DeMarco around here? Deep Divers, I got a whole new live stream set up. So let me see if I can do a Don DeMarco. Hold on a second.
Don DeMarco.
All right, that worked pretty good. Casey, you just got a Don DeMarco. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who's here. Like I say, Deep Divers, you all appreciate it. You know, how you feeling on the 11/11? I want to hear from you, Deep Divers. This is a live discussion. Lee Enfield in the house. Shout out to you. Hey, brother. 11/11. Does the 11/11 energy explain why everything feels a bit insane for some? Absolutely. Because you got to remind yourself, like I saw 11/11 like 2 days ago. I saw 11/11 2 days ago. It was crazy. And I'm like, what are the chances of me seeing 11/11? A lot of people who see these repeating numbers like 11/11 is showing you that you're waking up from the deep sleep, the illusion world, the matrix, all of that stuff. And a lot of people who see 11/11, it's not an accident or a coincidence. It's the same time they go through the big awakening. You got we're doing the avocado right now. Casey, thanks so much for the avocado. Like I say, we ain't even had breakfast yet. Let's breathe. That was beautiful. Let's go, Deep Divers. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency. Raising the vibration. Like I say, I need some avocados, Deep Divers. We ain't even had breakfast yet. Shout out to all of you wonderful deep. Oh, we're back. We're back, Deep Divers. We are back in full effect. Nikki on the gram. Shout out to you. 10 talents to multiply and resow. Thank you so much. Like I say, I appreciate all the love. And like I say, that's why I said I have to go live. You see, this is what 11/11 forces people to do. It forces people to say, wait a second, let's remember why we're here. Let's remember what we're here to do. Let's remember our purpose, our calling. It's time, Deep Divers, let's go. Right? I'm pumped up, Deep Divers. I'm pumped up because I'm like, I gotta go live for the Deep Divers. This is ridiculous. Ralph, you haven't been live in a long time. I know, Deep Divers. Tell me about it. I'm doing my best right now. But I'm happy because we finally got there. we finally, let me shout out to Mastermind Mentality. Wait a second. We got a Don DeMarco for you. And we got an avocado. Let's go.
Don DeMarco. Don DeMarco.
Mastermind Mentality. Shout out to you. Haven't caught a live in a while. Something told me to tune in, seeing numbers like crazy. Thank you for all you do. Well, that's what it's all about. Like I say, a lot of people right now are seeing that 11/11. And we've got to remind ourselves of the times we're living in right now. This is not a time to fall asleep. This is a time to be wide awake, because there's a big battle happening, not just between Israel and Gaza and all of that, and Hamas and all of that. No, there's a war happening that's far greater than that. We're going to talk about everything. We're also going to talk about the phenomenal time we're in right now, because never before have so many people been awake and aware. Never before have so many people been awake and aware. Let me shout out to Vixen. You're appreciated. So grateful for you and to see you live on the 11/11. Can I give you a round of applause, Vixen, please? Can I do that for you? Can I give you a round of applause? And everyone who's here, thank you so much. You're feeding me good. You know, like I say, deep divers, we ain't even had breakfast yet. You need to feed me some avocados. What's up? What's up, deep divers? How you feeling to deep divers on the 11/11? What's the energy like where you are? What's the energy like where you are? Like, you know, the energy is crazy, deep divers. The energy, so many things are happening. I want to hear from you. Vixen, shout out to you once again. Let me shout out to Beyond Cycle. And like I say, deep divers, I'm reading everyone's comments today, because this is not about me. This is about you. We're going to talk about the 11/11 portal. Beyond Cycle, shout out to you. Hi, Ralph. Love your work so much. I feel like a tree does more than anything that moves. Absolutely. You know, you got to connect with nature. So, the 11/11 portal, deep divers, has opened. Guess what's coming? We've got to remind ourselves once again, we are here to remember. Especially with this portal opening, we are here to remember. We're here to remember so many things happening right now that actually this is not the way the world has to be. You see, there have been protests all around the world, like I said, and a lot is happening. But this isn't about what they show you. This 11/11 portal that's opening is truly about the new earth. It's truly about the opportunity humanity has to bring about the new earth. Never before has humanity had the biggest opportunity. The problem is, you see, there are two forces on this planet. There's a force that wants to help humanity. There's a force that's for love, justice, peace. But there's also a force that cannot survive without deception, lies, and greed. And, you know, I always call this force, what do I call this force? The inorganic ones. You see, there's this battle that's happening. This was even shown to you in The Lord of the Rings. This apocalyptic battle has been happening. And for the first time, it looks like humanity is winning. The reason why is because a lot of people can see through it. And this is what the 11/11 is all about. And that's why I told you. More people are seeing through it, especially as this portal is opening. They're seeing through all the BS that's been shown in the media, from the government. All of the whole system is collapsing. And, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of. We're in a time right now where everything is coming full circle. Everything is coming full circle. You know, I was actually watching a documentary on JFK. Because, you know, JFK was a president who was assassinated, and a lot of people don't ask the question why. And one of the reasons why is because he wanted peace. He didn't want to create a lot of wars, and they had to get him out of there. So when you remind yourself, we're in a time right now where people can actually go back and realize how crooked society has been for so long, and people are waking up with information, comes clarity. And that's what's happening right now. Melissa B in the house. Shout out to you. You've brought me out of sad times. Thank you, Ralph. Hey, you're so appreciated, Melissa B. I thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's why I'm here. That's why the 1111, and that's why I say thank you, 1111, because it just made me say, hey, Ralph, do a live stream right now. We got to talk to the people. I want to hear from you. Like I told you as well, the 1111. Oh, we got an avocado here. We got an avocado doing the dance. Thank you so much. The 1111 is reminding us of the new beginning. That's first and foremost. Melissa B, shout out to you. The 1111 is reminding us of a new beginning. You see, all of the wars you see, this is a sign of the end times. And there's no future in that. There's a future in the new earth. There's a future in people saying, you know what, we don't want to be a part of that. We want to be a part of something new. You're hearing the screams of millions of people all around the world saying, actually, we demand the truth. We're standing for justice. We're standing for love. This is what the 1111 is all about. You know, for the longest time, humanity has been under a deep spell. Whether it's through celebrities, the media, TMZ, all of that stuff, people can see through it, right? Because I was looking at TMZ. I said, okay, TMZ report on celebrity news, right? And I'm realizing that it's all a distraction. And you've got to be aware of all of these things, because the 1111 reminds you that someone out there doesn't want you to wake up. Someone out there wants to keep you away from your true power. But you see, the problem is right now, too many people are waking up. Too many people, let's raise the chakra energy. Too many people are waking up right now. Too many people are going on the journey within right now. Too many people are focusing on themselves right now. That's what the 1111 is all about. And what's happened is, for the first time, the world out there is less appealing than the world in here. You see, for so long, we were all caught up in the world out there, the American dream, all of that. Now people are saying, you know what? I want to tune into me. I want to actually tune into me, because there's a whole universe inside of me. And this is what's happening. This is all part of the 1111. You see, people realize, let's go to the movies inside of ourselves. Let's explore the malls inside of ourselves. Let's go inside of ourselves, because for so long people have been caught up out there. What's happening with Cardi B? What's happening with Justin Bieber? It doesn't matter. What's happening with you? That's what the 1111 reminds us. What's going on in your life? Because ultimately you are the celebrity. You've forgotten. You've believed that Selena Gomez, all of these people, Biden, all of these people are people you have to idolize. You have to see that you are the celebrity. You are the celebrity. And that's what the 1111 reminds us of. We've also got to remind ourselves right now, humanity has been alone for the longest time. The reason why is because up until this point, humanity has lived in separation, division, and ego. But the 1111 is all about a remembrance of a twin flame reunion, a remembrance to say, actually, I want to find my better half, my other half, my complementary half. When you remind yourself, men and women aren't opposites. That's the old world paradigm. Men and women are actually complementary. Slow motion. Once again, men and women aren't opposites. Men and women are actually complementary. And this is what the 1111 is reminding us of. We can't do it by ourselves. See, a lot of people in this world say, hey, I don't need a man. Ladies, you say that, right? I don't need a man. I don't need a woman. No, you do, though. You do, though. That's why humanity has become weak, because people have forgotten that we need each other. When a king meets a queen, it's over. When a king meets a queen, what happens when a king works with a queen on a chessboard? They can defeat everything. So this is the remembrance coming in with the 1111, that actually in this journey of life, I need a companion. And that's the reason why on 1111, it's also symbolic of people reuniting with a greater part of themselves. And that's why in this time, as this portal opens, be open to someone new in your life. Be open to someone coming into your life to say, actually, I might need this person. Actually, I can grow with this person, have a family with this person, maybe some babies and a cat down the road. Deep Divers, the 1111 portal has opened. You see, a lot of people are now realizing our world has been controlled by propaganda machines. You see, when I was taking a look at even this Israel and Hamas situation, Gaza situation, I was seeing how the media were reporting it. And what I found out was, yes, it's horrible what happened on October 7th to Israel, but also a lot of Palestinians, innocent people, children, women, have been slaughtered. Over 11,000. It's absolutely terrible. And no countries are saying, hey, let's have a ceasefire. So the 1111 always wakes you up to see, actually, propaganda is still in the matrix. You know, one of the fathers of propaganda, Edward Bernays, he actually got women to smoke cigarettes, right? And what he did was he made it seem like it was a sexy thing to do. So reason why I'm telling you that is because you can get people to believe whatever you want them to believe when you control the story. The 1111 reminds you that the whole world is a stage. And that's the reason why I told you, don't choose sides. Make sure you are choosing yourself. Now, the 1111 portal is open. Let's move on from that, Deep Divers, because we're in a whole new age. Oh, yeah. We're in a whole new age right now. And this age is calling for you to make that choice. You see, I told you, James Cameron made the Terminator. James Cameron made the Terminator. And in 1984, that was such a great film. You know, James Cameron is a great director. I have to give him his credit. But he was telling you everything that's happening right now. John Connor, right? You should go and watch that film, The Terminator, because The Terminator tells you everything that's happening right now. The Terminator is all about man versus machine. The Terminator is all about man versus machine. How the hell did James Cameron know about that in 1984? Wait a second, it came out in 1984. Leonie Stewart, you're most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. On the 1111, let me shout out to everyone who's here. Happy 1111 to all of you wonderful deep divers. Happy 1111. So the Terminator was showing us that actually machines, we human beings have to be worried about machines. Elon Musk is scared because he went to the UK to go and talk with the prime minister about, you know, the rise of AI. The reason why he's doing that, because he knows AI is going to take over. You see, when you remind yourself, people like Michio Kaku, they talk of something called quantum computing. Why am I telling you about quantum computing? Because you see, you've got to remind yourself, ChatGPT is not artificial intelligence. ChatGPT is not artificial intelligence, but quantum computing is. And this is the technology they have. You have to learn about quantum computing, because you see what that stuff does, it's going to make ChatGPT look primitive. Quantum computing is basically, it's like an organic computer. And the reason why this is tied into the 1111 is because you have a choice to make. Otherwise, artificial technology, artificial intelligence is going to take over. I was watching a video about Pitbull saying, hey, you know, I don't use an Apple phone. And that was fascinating. He was saying that, you know, the apple is the forbidden fruit. And a lot of people with the 1111 portal, they're waking up to realize, actually, I'm spending over 7 hours on my phone staring at a screen, not realizing your whole genetic makeup is changing. You're becoming a cyborg. You're becoming artificial intelligence. You're becoming the Terminator. I'll be back. Deep divers. Right? So this is what's happening. Listen to what I just said. You're becoming the Terminator. With all of the screen time you have, some people sleep with their phone on, they wake up. Humanity is becoming the Terminator. The Terminator is someone who has no emotions. It's a cyborg. So the 1111 is reminding us we've got a choice to make. That it's either our humanity or it's the artificial insanity, because the AI ain't going to stop. It's only going to accelerate. Right now, you have to realize it's going to be tough. It's going to be a challenge, because what's happening is that more and more people, their soul is going into the metaverse. And that's the reason why when you go into a supermarket, there's no people. It's only self-service. And in the next 10 years, there's going to be no people, only self-service machines. And that's the reason why the 1111 is also a wake-up call. When we talk about the symbolism of the 1111, it's also a wake-up call. Because you see, humanity is on the last straw of its freedom. If humanity screws this up, it's going to be too late. You've got to remind yourself, deep divers, technology is always a servant. It's a dangerous master. Technology is always a servant. It's a dangerous master. Now, with this 1111 portal opening, one of the greatest things to be aware of is the new beginning that's arising. You know, you've been told that there's nothing to look forward to. No, there is so much to look forward to, so much to be happy for. Because you see, what's happened is right now on the planet, people are tired of the same. You know, and that's good. People are fed up. People are really tired of this way of life. You see, when you talk to young people, they say a few things. They say, okay, I want to be free. In fact, in America, what profession most people wanted was a YouTuber. They want financial freedom. They want to live their best life. You're always going to hear that slogan right now around humanity. I want to live my best life, right? Just ask any young person. I want to live my best life. Adults as well. I want to live my best life. I want to become my greatest version. And that's what the 1111 is all about. It's a whole new beginning. People for the first time are saying, you know what? I want to create my own reality. I don't want to live in the slave matrix. I don't want to work a boring ass 9 to 5. I want to do what I want. People are realizing this whole thing is a big scam. You've been lied to since birth. And a lot of people are now waking up. And that's what the 1111 portal is all about. It's about you waking up that you've been living in a stage show. Like Shakespeare said, the whole world is a stage. You're not supposed to play by the rules. You're supposed to be creating your own. That's a slow motion. You're not supposed to be playing by the rules. You're supposed to be creating your own. You've got to remind yourself that freedom is never given to you. You've got to take it with both hands. Once again, you've got to remind yourself freedom is never given to you. You've got to take it with both hands. That's how America was taken from the Native Americans. They took it with both hands. They didn't say, they just took it. You've got to remind yourself that I told you the 1111 is a remembrance. It's a remembrance to realize that everything you do will come back. Everything you do will come back. You see, I'm someone who realizes that karma is real. It will catch up with you in the end. And that's what's happening right now all around the world. The chickens are coming home to roost. You've got to remind yourself, when you see what's going on with Israel and Gaza, you see a lot of people are smart enough to say, okay, how did it begin? It started because Palestine was a land. Israel, some people went there from Germany. They were welcomed in, and then they started to take the Palestinian land. People are now realizing the history. People are now waking up to say, actually, there's something deeper going on. how did this begin? This is what the 1111 is symbolic of. You always go back to the root. How did it begin? How did this all start? Right? And then you start to know why things are the way they are. It's the same thing for your life. Why is the world like this? Right? You've got to go back. You've got to listen. You know, the 1111 is about opening your mind to new information. You know, one of the greatest thinkers I always say is Alan Watts. Alan Watts said, you know, really and truly, there's nothing for us to do in life, but we run around thinking there's something that we have to do. Very powerful mind, Alan Watts. So I used to listen to Alan Watts and say, oh my gosh, it's so true. You see, a lot of people don't realize how programmed they are. A lot of the world is programmed. A lot of the world has been force-fed a whole load of lies. The 1111 is about waking up to that. And there's a whole lot of healing. How do you wake up? You either have a breakdown or you have a breakdown. Most people don't have the fortunate experience of going through a spiritual awakening. Many people live life in what I call the medium way. In other words, you know, they go to school, they get a job. It's only when something really rocks your boat that you go through a big awakening. And when this happens, you almost become like a goddess, a god. You become a supreme being. When something monumental happens, maybe an accident, maybe a big breakdown, this is when you begin to ask the questions, right? And what's happening now, if you actually realize that collectively what's going on, there's a breakdown. Once again, this ties into the 1111 because the 1111 happens. A lot of people will see 1111 when they have a breakdown. They go through a huge breakdown. That's actually what's going to be the catalyst for your breakthrough. And that's the reason why a lot of people go through a spiritual awakening. They have the breakdown first, then the breakthrough. What's happening collectively with society is going through an apoptosis. Apoptosis is a process where it's called cellular death. This apoptosis, the caterpillar, its cells commit suicide, and you have imaginal cells which actually create the butterfly through the metamorphosis. Humanity is going through the apoptosis. Its cells are killing itself. In other words, a lot of people on this planet know something is wrong and that this whole thing is messed up. What does that mean? It means the end. And that means a new beginning. What seems like the end is nothing more than a new beginning in disguise. You see, we're actually reaching the end of this current civilization. We're actually reaching the end of this current civilization. Egypt had a golden age, and a golden age is a period of time where you have prolonged prosperity in a civilization. It can last for a few thousand years, sometimes 100 years. One thing you have to know is that every civilization comes to an end. It doesn't matter how great it is, because nature always likes to renew itself. But this current civilization, which is really only a few hundred years old, especially America, really only a few hundred years old, is actually coming to an end. The reason why is because civilizations fall when they get too big for their boots. When the ego takes over, that's when civilizations begin to fall. Especially when there is no truth, when there is separation, when there is deceit. That's when civilizations begin to crumble. What you're seeing in the world is the total breakdown of every society in the world. And the reason why is because there is no truth. People know it. From the music industry, the entertainment industry, it's all designed to keep you out of your true power. The 1111 is about waking up to say, you know what? Right now, I can see through the Maya. I can see through the illusion. And thank goodness, because right now, so many people all around the world are waking up. So many people all around the world are realizing that we don't want to be separate anymore. The inorganic ones had to trick you. The inorganic ones had to trick you through separation. They told you that you're different. So what have you got? You got black, white, Chinese, Indian, all of these things. You got Democrat, Republican. You got French, German, Spanish, Ethiopian, all of these categories. They had to design this for you. And this is how the inorganic ones control you. So when you remind yourself that separation has helped the inorganic ones become extremely powerful. Well, what's happening right now with the 1111 is that unity is now being restored. Unity is now being restored on the planet. And thank goodness, because you see, people are realizing we're all in this together. Everybody bleeds red. And this is key for the 1111 consciousness. You see, extremely intellectual people know that human beings are pretty much the same. They have the same emotions. They cry about the same things. They're happy about the same things. So we've got to remind ourselves that we're all the same. But you see, what happens when a human being wakes up? What happens when a human being finds himself? They become self-sustainable, self-sufficient, and they no longer need the system. That's the reason why the 1111 is reminding you this portal that's opening is you've got everything inside of you. You've been told that you're inadequate, that you don't have enough, that you're lacking in something. The 1111 reminds you you've got everything you need. You've got to remind yourself right now in the times we're in. And when you take a deep trip down the rabbit hole, I was watching a documentary on education. This was a deep documentary on education. And it was showing how, you see, in ancient Greece, even in ancient Egypt, people had one quest with education, and that was to find out the truth. A lot of Greek philosophers, Socrates, he was poisoned. He had Plato, his student, and then his student was Aristotle. But they all sought to find out the truth. You even had Marcus Aurelius. And that's the reason why you had so many powerful minds. But they talk about how somewhere along the line, they didn't want people to think for themselves. They didn't want to produce philosophers, artists, all of these things. They wanted to dumb people down because an educated person was a threat to the system. Someone who knew who they were could potentially build a whole new world, a whole new civilization. So the whole system has to keep you dependent on it. It can only really do that through ignorance. So when you go on TikTok and you see people, just forgetting about what's really going on, just realize that this is a grand design. This is a plan that's been in the works for thousands of years. And it's been working. However, there's been a turning of the tide. Because you see, everything comes full circle. There was a time when wisdom was in abundance. Everyone knew, right? There was even a golden age of music. Go back to the 80s. You had so many great messages in music, right? And then all of a sudden, everything was diluted. And that's what happens with life. You have periods where people are awakening, and then periods where people fall into a big sleep, right? You had the Dark Ages, right? In medieval Europe, Dark Ages. Then you had the Renaissance. So you have different periods of time where people wake up and then they go back to bed. We were currently in the Dark Ages. Up until now, we were in the Dark Ages. Now, We're actually coming out of the dark ages. It's time for that. And that's what the 11:11 is all about, because people don't want to be in the dark all the time. They don't want to be blinded with the illusion. People are waking up. They're experiencing greater synchronicity. They're realizing I can live off the grid. I can grow my own fruits and vegetables. People are coming back. They're realizing we are the healers. We are the ones we're waiting for. We are the ones we're waiting for. You see, with the 11:11, you've got to remind yourself that, can we breathe, deep divers? Let's breathe. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. With the 11:11, people are realizing, actually, I'm not crazy. You see, the inorganic ones have to trick you into thinking you're crazy. But you're not crazy, you're just waking up. And right now, so many people are realizing, actually, I thought I was crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm going to live life like how I want to live it. And this is what the 11:11 is calling you to do. It's calling you to go and live life like how you want to live it, without shame, without guilt. You know, some people, you know, living in Venice and Santa Monica for many years, I know so many people there. And I remember a man selling some things in Venice Beach, and he packed up all of his things from Arizona. He moved to Venice, and he was so free. He said, this is my purpose, to make my art and sell it to people. And he was living in a van. He was so enlightened, so happy. And I said, wow, that's amazing. But he said, you know, leaving was hard because he was judged by his family. And we're in a time right now, like I told you, of the great split. The 11:11 is all about realizing when you choose your path, you have to follow it. You have to go wholeheartedly into it, because the universe reveals its secrets to people who dare to follow their hearts. At the same time, you have to also realize you can't please everyone. We're in a time right now where some people are going to be mad at you. Some people are going to be furious at you because we're in intense times. So what I want all of you to remind yourself of on this 11:11 deep dive, is this portal, is that it's not personal. If your friends don't agree with your life purpose, your family don't agree with your life purpose, you have to do what you have to do, what you feel is right in your soul, because you got to remind yourself you can't please everyone. Right now, you got to make the right choice for you. You got to make the right choice for you, because if you don't, you're going to go down crabs in a barrel. You're going to be pulled down by people. This is what the 11:11 is symbolic of. You have to be very confident. Like I told you, right now, a lot of people are going within. A lot of people are getting that inner strength. They're focusing on themselves. They're realizing, actually, I've been listening to a whole lot of junk my whole life. It's time for me to listen to myself. That's what the 11:11 is all about. That's what the 11:11 is all about. It's about your higher self. You see, what happens when you see the 11:11? What happens when you see the 11:11? You feel like, gosh, everything is magical. Everything is fantastic. And you feel that actually you're moving to your higher self. You know, for so long, humanity has lived in the lower self. People have lived in the lower self. And, you know, that's what a lot of people thought was a cool thing. Now people are realizing it's no longer cool to live in the lower nature. You know, a lot of people didn't make it here. They didn't make it this far. You know why? Because the lower nature will always give you an early grave. A lot of people got caught up in feeding lower entities. And the 11:11 calls us to remind us that we're actually gods and goddesses. We're actually gods and goddesses. And it's not an easy feat to rise to that level of God and goddess. We got to do the self-work, because you got to remind ourselves, deep divers, we got to remind ourselves, given the opportunity, humanity can do phenomenal things. Everybody can do phenomenal things. But what happens when you were taught everything wrong? It's like we got to start from scratch. Just imagine in the first 18 years of your life, if you were given the right information. Let me repeat that. Just imagine in the first 18 years of your life, you were given the right information. You would have less stress. You would look even younger than your age. You will be happier, healthier. So we've got to remind ourselves that we've been lied to. So it's almost like we have to unlearn everything and then relearn everything. So we have a lot of work to do. The reason why is because we're already behind. We're already 18 years behind. So that's the reason why the 11:11 is a wake-up call to say, hey, we got some work to do. At the same time, if you're on that journey, taking that step, congratulations. How you feeling today? Deep divers, we're just going straight into it. Oh, I'm back. And let me shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. 5D music scene in the house, shout out to you. Let me give you a Don DeMarco.
Dom DeMarco.
5D music scene, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. 5D music scene. Thank you for going live, mentor. Gratitude. I find lots of older people are very lost. Oh, you're feeding me with an avocado. I like that. Deep divers, you can also feed me with avocados. Thank you for going live, mentor. Gratitude. I find lots of older people are very lost and stuck in their own ways. Don't want to grow and think there's nothing wrong with them inside and outside. That's such a powerful comment, because absolutely, a lot of people, they think they know everything. And, you know, the 11:11 forces us to realize we don't know anything. You know, Confucius said, true wisdom is to know the full extent of one's own ignorance. True wisdom is to know the full extent of one's own ignorance. True wisdom is to know the full extent of one's own ignorance. People say, Ralph, you're smart. I say, I'm still learning. I'm the master and the student. So we've got to remind ourselves, part of the 11:11 is realizing how little that you do know, how little you actually know. You've got to remind yourself that Napoleon said history is a lie agreed upon. History is a lie agreed upon. And therefore, when you remind yourself that history is something that you read in his book, not your book, so your entire history is wrong. Everything you know about the planet is wrong. And the 11:11 calls you to see that there are realms and dimensions beyond this one. One of the great minds, Terence McKenna, he talked about how humanity actually evolved through magic mushrooms. If you go anywhere, you'll find mushrooms. And he was talking about the early Homo sapiens would chew on mushrooms and have these altered states of consciousness. And that's how civilization actually came to be. Fascinating stuff. Terence McKenna, go and check him out. So when people took these psychedelics and all of these things, they started to realize there was more to life. Now, in some cultures, this is normal. You go to Peru, you can take ayahuasca. You take all of these herbs and you really wake up to this matrix. But in Western civilization, it's not common. And therefore, a lot of people get locked into a 5 sense matrix reality, thinking this is all there is. And that's how they've been deceived. The 11:11 calls you to wake up, smell the coffee, to realize that there are so many different versions of reality. When I started to realize, deep divers, that humanity only believes in one story. So many people are so sure of their story. Maybe it's, I believe in Allah, I believe in Jesus Christ, I'm this, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Buddhist. People are so sure of their story and they fail to have an open mind. The 1111 always wants you to have an open mind to realize that actually you can still learn a thing or two. This was the greatest trick the inorganic ones played on people. And it was a trick of a false sense of confidence to trick people into believing that, hey, your way is the only way. Your way is the only way. And they did that. You know, I remember being in, the uni days of debating people and all of that stuff. And there were some people who were so sure. There were some people who were so sure they could tell me exactly how the world was created. Ever met someone like that, deep divers? They'll tell you exactly how the world is created. They'll tell you why their religion is the best. They'll tell you why you should believe in their God. People are so sure. Let me shout out to Studio H. Shout out to you. Thank you, Studio H. Thank you. Let me give you a little round of applause. Actually, a little horn. Let's go. You fed me with an avocado, Studio H. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, deep divers. Share the video. Hit that like button if you support the real. Share the video. We just started. Studio H, shout out to you. Hi, Ralph. How can I inspire a person who is seeing the split happening and giving up on both worlds? How may I bring their passion back? Gratitude and love. That's a great question. That's a great question. How can I inspire a person who is seeing the split happening and giving up on both worlds? How may I bring their passion back? Gratitude and love. You got to remind yourself that right now, you got to be an example to people. That's how you can inspire people. You know, a lot of people who might even be awake, sometimes they feel tired because, you see, when you know, it can also be exhausting. That's the reason why people don't want to wake up in the first place, because they know once they wake up, it's on them. They got a responsibility. Once you know, you can't not know. However, you being awake and aware puts you at a supreme advantage, and that's to make sure that you can heal yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. When you are unaware, you're going to have more problems, so many more problems. How you can help someone is continue to be the lighthouse. Show them the way by being an example yourself. My journey is helping a lot of people who feel like giving up because they're like, gosh, Ralph, you're still making videos? I can't believe it. I get inspired when I see someone who's been creating for like 5 years, even 3 years. I'm like, gosh, it's good to see them still doing it. I get inspired. So if you want to help other people, be consistent in what you're doing. Show them that actually we got work to do. Happy 11/11. Happy 11/11 deep divers. How you feeling today? I said I got to go live on the 11/11. Look, right now, we're in a whole new world. We're in a whole new world right now. And the good news is humanity is waking up. The good news is that humanity is ready for love, it's ready for peace, and it's ready for unity. That's the good news. We've got to remind ourselves that everything right now in the world feels intense. And it's been feeling like this for the past few years. Have you noticed that, deep dives? It feels like there's always something happening. There's always something happening. And that's why I told you the 11/11 is to wake up, to realize that the matrix is crumbling. At the same time, when things are coming to an end, there's going to be more of a sound, a loud sound, because the inorganic ones don't want to give up. They want to hold on, even though they know their time is up. They want to hold on because they can't believe humanity is waking up. So they're going to do everything to distract you, keep you in a low frequency, even though it was written, it's time for them to go. They don't want to go, but they know they've got to go. But you have to remind yourself, the light has won. Thank you so much for that, Tonya. Absolutely. The light has won. The light has won. Oh, it's won. The light has won. And that's what the 11:11 reminds us of, that the light has won. It's already won. Because you see, people have chosen collectively that they don't want to believe in this lower version of reality, this dumbed down version of reality. People want better. They want the knowledge. You see, there's a reason why there was so much censorship. If you notice, over the last few years, things have been censored. There have been people have been shadow banned. Information, it's an information war, right? It's an information war. It's an info wars, information war. Never before has it been like this. And the reason why it's an information war is because people are after the information, the real information, and the inorganic ones know this, so they have to hide the information. So what does that tell you? Realize that if you have great videos, documentaries about what's really going on, all of these videos go viral. And it shows you that people are ready. When I was making videos on decalcifying your pineal gland, over 2 million views. Doing videos on the third eye, over 5 million views. All of these videos of awakening are going viral. Even if you look at sites like WorldStar, the things that are going viral are awakening people, waking people up. This is all a sign of the 11:11, that people are ready. We're in a time where you say, oh wow, I can't believe it. Did you hear about that? So people are realizing we're in a time right now where it's all about, oh, did you know? That's the time we're in right now. That's what the 11:11 is symbolic of. Did you know? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. People are almost discovering something for the first time, finding out something like Gulliver's Travels. They're finding out something for the first time. And that's what the 11:11 is all about. We're in a time right now where this portal has just been kicked open, where people are so hungry for the truth that it's unstoppable. So you have to remind yourself, two games are being played. One game is that, hey, everything is normal. No, the inorganic ones have to make it seem like everything is normal on the surface. Underneath, so much is going on. People are ready for the truth. People are really ready for love, ready for peace, ready for community, especially community. You know, what is happening in the world is a pandemic of loneliness. Let me repeat that. What is happening in the world is a pandemic of loneliness. It's kind of a paradox that with over 1 billion iPhones, people are lonely. How does that happen? How come with the rise of technology, people are more lonely? What's happening? Well, that was the whole plan, because the inorganic ones realized that, you see, once upon a time, children used to play in tree houses. They didn't need an iPhone. They were happy. People actually met people face to face. That's the real way. And that's what the 11:11 is reminding us of. To say, actually, we don't need to FaceTime someone. We can meet them face to face. So with this 11:11 shift that's happening, people are now realizing, actually, it's so much better to actually meet someone face to face. Do you know what texting people has done to people's relationships is ruined so many people's relationships, because everything gets misinterpreted through emojis and text messages. This was all done by design. If you text someone and say something like, "What the hell are you talking about?" they might take it in 5 different ways. You might just be chilling. So you cannot communicate effectively through typing to someone on WhatsApp. People are going to misinterpret what you're saying, and also you're going to get lazy to even talk to someone. People with this 1111 are saying, you know what? I want the authentic connection. I want to meet people face to face. And this is what humanity is going back to. It's amazing when you actually talk to someone, get to know who they are, and you've just saved like 2 hours, right? You just saved like 2 hours. Happy 1111 deep divers. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. Oh, we just started. We got a lot to talk about. So this 1111 right now that's on the planet is really calling for people to take care of what's happening in the world. You've got to remind yourself, deep divers, the dinosaurs got wiped out. The dinosaurs got taken out of here. Humanity kind of thinks that it's immortal. No, humanity is just like any other species on this planet. The saber-toothed tiger got extinct. Since 1970, over 60% of animal populations have been extinct. You have to remind yourself the human being can get extinct. And the 1111 is a reminder of that. We have to realize that humanity has one last chance to get this right. You see, humanity doesn't realize that all it takes is an atomic bomb and everything is gone. When I saw the film Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan, it laid it out all perfectly. That he was so horrified at what he created, he was like, please, humanity, be careful. And this is what the 1111 is reminding us of. That actually, we have to be careful we don't extinct ourselves. Because you see, what's happening in a subtle way, a subtle extinction of humanity is a fusing with artificial insanity. In the next 50 years, what is an iPhone going to look like? It's going to be embedded into your DNA. In other words, what we know as a human being is slowly being erased. There are children right now, all they know is an iPad and an iPhone. They don't even know how to play with other children. So you have to realize that humanity is in human beings have to wake up to protect their humanity, because if they don't, they're not going to have any left. When we talk of the 1111 right now, a lot of people, someone actually said this. They said, okay, how come I'm not taught anything about myself in school? And that's a very great question. You know, one thing, I used to teach in a school, deep divers, and a lot of children get taught on a curriculum. And that's why people think the same. They act the same. They talk the same. The 1111 shows you that there's levels to this. And if you realize everything you were taught in school was designed to help you to be a perfect slave, that's all. It was designed to help you to be a perfect slave. But the 1111 is to say, hey, I need a mentor. I need the information that can take me to the next level. And that's what the 1111 portal is all about, to realize there's hidden information. In fact, it's about the knowledge. When you have the right information, not only will you manifest everything you want, become financially free, healthier, wealthier, better looking, look 10 years younger like Ralph Smart. When you have the right information, the right knowledge, your whole entire life changes. So the 1111 reminds you, it's all about, oh, me, just me. You hitting that dollar sign, baby.
Dom DeMarco.
Thank you so much. So the 1111 reminds you it's about the knowledge. You see, there are very powerful families. There were very powerful families throughout time. Rockefellers, Rothschilds. These people, the reason how they got to that position was because they knew one thing, that knowledge is power. Knowledge, not money, but knowledge. You want to become extremely powerful. It's not the money, it's the knowledge. Because once you have the knowledge, you can get the money. Once you have the knowledge, you can manifest anything you want. And for so long, information and knowledge has been suppressed in humanity, in society. Now, with the 1111 shift portal that's opened, people are diving deep into the knowledge. People want the knowledge. They want the real stuff. They're reading books, going to seminars, lectures, finding information, not just from YouTube. They're going on Rumble. They're going on BitChute. And this is what the 1111 is all about. It's realizing, okay, if you didn't get the information on YouTube, you can go to Rumble. I'm on Rumble. And Rumble is like this platform like YouTube, but you can literally say whatever you want. Right? So we're now realizing that there are other platforms which aren't censoring. There are other platforms where you can get free information. Like a lot of people, for example, might even be on Instagram. But there are other apps which are far better than Instagram. So we're now realizing there's not only one way. There are many different ways and many different sources. So people, the 1111 is all about realizing you don't have to be in a box. You can be unlimited. I liken it to a mobile phone network. The matrix locks you into one network. Being free gives you an unlimited freedom to do whatever you want. You're unlocked, right? You're unlocked. Unlimited data, unlimited minutes, unlimited text. You're good to go. So you've got to remind yourself that you have to unlock yourself every single day. You know, the 1111 is about this realization. We have to have discernment in this day and time. You know, I heard some stories coming out of Mexico, and you know, them saying they found these UFOs, these aliens, and there's a lot of misinformation. You've got to remind yourself, a lot of what they call aliens and UFOs aren't even physical, because you see, in the astral realms, when you go to bed every single day, you go to sleep, you can realize you're in a whole different frequency field, and you're seeing things very abstractly. That's more what like aliens are. They're non-physical. And when you remind yourself that they're all around us, different life forms are all around us, it's about you tapping into certain frequencies to see that. And once you do, you realize that we've never ever been alone. And that's what the 1111 is all about. You have to remind yourself there are forces which seek to help you, and also forces which seek to destroy you. You know, even in times past, you know, there's these theories that you have incubus and succubus. You have, when you go to bed, if your thoughts aren't on a high frequency, you're going to send out a signal and you're going to attract lower entities to you. They would call these succubus and incubus. What they would do is they would sit on top of you and they will steal your sexual energy. That's why some women, they wake up wet. Some man, they wake up wet. They say, how did that happen? You don't realize that someone saw that you had a lust for that, and they provided that to you. You wake up, nothing is there, but something was there. Something was there. What happened? So when you remind yourself that they're all around you, they're all around you. And that's the reason why the 1111 is reminding you to protect your energy, to realize that you don't want to lay down your guard. You want to realize that the energy you give off is the same energy you're going to attract back to you. The energy that you give off is the same energy you're going to attract back to you. You know, there are so many people, and listen very closely, deep divers, because the 1111 is also a lesson of energy. When I was starting YouTube, I realized that there's no need for any drama here. And till this day, Ralph Smart doesn't beef. I'm plant-based. That's a slow motion. There's no beef. And I realized that, you see, that's what the 1111 is calling us to do. When you are going far, you don't want to bring people down. You want to keep moving forward. So you got to look in your own life to say, you know what? Have I got beef with someone? It's time to squash the beef. And that's what the 1111 is all about. Because I always say, we ain't got no time to be bickering amongst each other. We got work to do. And you have to realize that it is so good to realize the only enemy that you have is yourself. The only enemy that you have is yourself. And the greatest friend that you have is yourself. And this is the reason why the 1111 energy is calling for you to realize you are the hero and you're also the villain. You're the hero and you're also the villain. The 1111 is also about shadow work. It's also about realizing that, you see, we sometimes think we're so perfect, not realizing that actually sometimes we can be toxic. How many times, deep divers, have you realized, wait a second, I might be becoming a toxic person? The 1111 is about you realizing you are the hero, but you're also the villain. And it's about creating peace within yourself first and foremost. Because there's a battle happening, not just between Israel and Gaza and all of that. No, the battle happening is between you and you. You are having a massive battle going on inside of you. The 1111 reminds you of that. And it encourages you to have a peace treaty. To have a peace treaty. You know, right now on the planet, deep divers, I'm excited for everyone who's on that journey of raising the frequency. Let me give you a round of applause. Because you see, life is hard right now. You know, when you are someone who is waking up out of the deep sleep, who can see these signs and synchronicities. Sometimes you even your own parents can say, hey, wake up, snap out of it. Just be a normal person. And a lot of people who have chosen their purpose, chosen their path, they have to go through hell to get there. Because a lot of the times you don't find the support. But the 1111 reminds us, the universe reveals its secrets to people who dare to follow their hearts. The 1111 reminded me that actually, and this is the great paradox, you have to be alone to realize we are never alone unless we abandon ourselves. You have a whole soul tribe out there. You have hundreds of people just like you. That's what I realized making videos on YouTube. Like, gosh, I've traveled to Brazil, lived in Hawaii. I've been everywhere. Ethiopia, everywhere. Sierra Leone, all over Europe, every country in Europe. And I've noticed that everywhere you go, everywhere I go, there are people who are awake. Doesn't matter what country you go on this planet, you are going to find someone just like you who gets it. So the 1111 is realizing that you have a whole soul tribe. You got a whole community. You got people you don't even know who are complete replicas of you, who are just another you in a different time and space. So it's reminding us on this 1111 portal that we are not alone. We are not alone. You see, you've been told that you're alone. Deal with it. No, the truth is there are so many people who are rooting for you. There are so many people who are walking on the same mission as you. And this is what you have to remember. Don't think that you're all alone. No, there are so many people like you. However, you must be brave enough to share your story with the world. And that's what the 1111 is all about. You know, so many people out there have these experiences, but they don't speak about them, especially women. They don't want to be called crazy. They don't want to make a noise. Well, the 1111 is calling for you to make a noise because people need to hear your story. People need to hear your story. You need to write that book. You need to write that book. You need to get your story. You need to have a website. You need to make sure you got a YouTube channel. You need to start being a content creator. This whole term content creator is only showing you what you already are. Everyone's supposed to be a content creator. Everyone is supposed to be a creator because we are creators. The 1111 is reminding you that you are a creator. You see, we're in a world right now where people are finally realizing that and they're getting back to creating. This is where your whole entire life is going to change for the better. Once you start creating, everything changes. I told you, a job is what someone gives to you. Your purpose is what you give to yourself. Once you give it to yourself and start creating, it's over. And this is what the 1111 is reminding people of. You know, there are people who said, you know what? I'm here to do this. They wake up, they start doing it. There are geniuses around who say, you know what? I'm going to start. Some women say, I'm going to start my whole fashion business. They start doing it. Hair and makeup, they start doing it. 7-figure business, just like that. Some people, they realize that actually they have a good idea inside of them. The 1111 reminds you, don't give up on that idea. Make sure you execute it because you just might win the lottery. We're in a time right now where anybody can make it. Anybody can make it. You know, with the power of the internet to remind us that actually everything is connected in this web. You have to make the most of this monumental time in human history. Never before could you speak to so many people in a few seconds. Never before could your message be heard. Never before could you manifest. You see, back in the day, you were born in a certain country, that was it. You were either born poor or rich. Now, you can rise up and be wherever you want to be. So the 1111 reminds us that actually there are no obstacles. We can manifest anything and make everything work for us. There's always a way. The 1111 is actually, if you look at the 1111, it's a door. And it's about opening another door, opening another door, opening another reality. You see, I started to realize that actually everything you've been taught is to make you give up. And you have to be very careful because a lot of people get lazy. They say, you know what? I've gone to university. I've graduated. I don't need to learn anything. So they give up in increasing their mind and knowledge. The 1111 reminds you, you don't know anything. You better start learning again. So you don't give up. You say, you know what? Every day I got to learn more. I got to increase my mind, expand my knowledge. So you have to be very careful that you don't give up and rest on your laurels to think, hey, I know it. I've got a degree in this. I've got a PhD. No, you still got to learn the hidden knowledge, the knowledge you weren't taught, because if you know this knowledge, you become too powerful. You outgrow the whole system. You know, right now, shout out to everyone who's diving deep, and shout out to everyone who's really in their power. How are you deep divers out there finding this 1111 portal? I want to hear from you. Hit that like button right now, share the video. Hit that like button right now, share the video. How are you finding the energy on the planet? Because ultimately it's about you. And you have to remind yourself that a lot is happening. So many things are happening. And we have to remind ourselves right now that we're going to need each other. Because things are going to get rocky. Things are going to get rough. And we have to remind ourselves the battle is still on. And that's the reason why you got to make that choice. And that's why I always say the 1111 is about a choice. It's a choice between love or fear. Those are actually the only two emotions, love or fear. We can talk about manifestation because the 1111 portal has opened. Guess what's coming? Manifestation. You see, so many people right now are realizing they don't need to go to college. They don't need to go to university. In fact, a lot of people who control the matrix didn't even go to university themselves. So when you remind yourself of this, you realize, okay, the traditional way to manifest is actually not the way to manifest. You have to be a mastermind. Everything is in reverse. And that's what the 1111 reminds you. That you have to be unorthodox. You have to realize that you're not supposed to follow the rules. You're supposed to create your own. And if you can follow your own intuition, which 1111 is all about, you'll be guided to the right place. If you can realize that actually you've got something inside of you that can open up a whole new reality, you can manifest anything. And I hope you find it, deep divers. I really do. I really do hope. I found it. And I realized the secret. You know, there's a book called The Secret. I found the secret. And that's what the 1111 is all about. It's about you finding out the secret. What would happen if I could manifest anything? How would I start to manifest something I really want? We've got to remind ourselves the reason why a lot of people don't manifest what they want is because they want. Pardon? I said the reason why people don't manifest what they want is because they want. The universe is not interested in what you want. Because when you say I want something, you're desiring something you don't have. So the 1111 secret is to say, I already have it. To act like it's already here. You've got a lot of Abraham Hicks teachings which talk about that, right? Act like it's already here. A lot of people still don't get it. When I was starting YouTube, I was saying I'm inspiring millions of people before I was inspiring millions of people. I kept saying it until it became a reality. So the 1111 reminds you that actually you can speak what you want into existence. I said, I'm going to be here forever, and I'm still here. It seems like I just made my first video yesterday. So the 1111 is about you realizing words are spells, and you can start speaking what you want into existence. Act like it's already here. Act like it's already here. If you want a better life, act like it's already here. If you want that love, act like it's already here. If you want that health, act like it's already here. If you want that financial freedom, act like it's already here. And this really changed my whole entire reality. And a lot of people are now tapping into that secret. You know, so many people as well are realizing right now that things aren't black and white. And this is also part of the 1111. You know, you've been taught that everything is linear, black, white, on, off. No, everything is very nuanced. And part of this is to realize that actually, perspective, there are so many ways to see something. And also, there are so many different sides to someone, and also yourself. You know, how many times I made that video, how to let go of the limited version of yourself. How many times do you put yourself in a box? You don't allow yourself to be great. The 1111 is asking you to lose that label, to start letting go of the limited version of yourself. Shout out to everyone who's here. Hit that like button right now if you are enjoying this show, Deep Divers. Hit that like button right now if you're enjoying this show. Right? So, shout out to you. Laura, thank you so much coming in on the $sign. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, we've got to remind ourselves, Deep Divers, the 1111 is here. The energy is high right now on the planet. Very high. Very intense. And also, there's a sense of uncertainty. No one knows what's going to happen next. Well, one of the biggest things 1111 and this portal that's opening, guess what's coming, is all about you playing on a higher level. Not playing the game that you were put in, but creating your own game. What's coming next in your own reality right now? Maybe you're trying to move to another neighborhood. You're trying to buy a house. You're trying to get a new job. What's coming next for you? You have to set your intention on the 1111. You have to set your intention to say, hey, from this day on, I'm going to make the change. I'm going to get there. So we've got to start getting serious about where we want to be, because if not, we're still going to be in the same position. How many of you right now know that you should be somewhere else? How many of you right now know that you should be somewhere else? How many of you know right now you're not in the right environment? You should be in Hawaii somewhere, eating some mangoes. You should be maybe in Arizona, maybe in California, maybe in Nigeria, maybe in Ghana, maybe in Spain. You should be somewhere else. What the hell are you doing there? How many times are you going around your neighborhood, walking around your neighborhood saying, I'm bored of this. This is a boring road. I see this road every single day. I'm tired of this place. How many of you are in a concrete jungle right now saying, actually, I could be somewhere else? And that's what the 1111 is asking us to do, to say, you know what? Let's make it into a reality. I was saying, hey, I want to go to California. I moved there. I lived there. I was saying, I want to go to Hawaii. I moved there. I lived there. I said, I want to go to Brazil. I moved there. I lived there. So you got to remind yourself that right now, you have to realize that your environment will shape who you become. Your environment will shape who you become. And that's the reason why the environment is so essential. They were asking Bill Gates and all of these people, okay, how come Bill Gates became one of the wealthiest people on the planet? You know why? Because his father put him in the right environment to be a computer genius. Anybody could have done it if they were given the same opportunities. So a lot of these so-called wealthy people in the Matrix The reason why they can get ahead is because they have the right environment for their children. Their children go to different schools. They have a different environment, different neighborhood. So they're thinking a whole different way. So anybody can achieve that same level of success if they have the right environment. In a lot of concrete jungles, there's a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, fast food restaurants everywhere. So everyone in the environment becomes below par, mediocre. Greatness is dependent on your environment. Greatness is dependent on your environment. When I'm here, you see the chair, the gold room, we got a little green light going on. It's the environment. So you got to remind yourself, deep divers, how important your environment is every single day. Let me shout out to Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, Beyond. Let me shout out to Beyond Cycle. Shout out to you. Just had to tell you, loving this live right now, Ralph. Hey, I appreciate that. Let me screenshot that. I screenshotted that, right? Because that's what we're all about. We're all about gratitude, right? Thank you so much. And that's why I say the environment is everything. The 1111 reminds us that right now, we've got to become very mindful of what we're feeding ourselves. You see, deep divers, the inorganic ones have given you a bad diet of fear and bad news. And the 1111 is to realize that whatever you consume will consume you. Whatever you consume will consume you. So right now, it's amazing how so many people right now on the planet are consuming a better energy. Once again, the right environment, and they're becoming mindful about what they're tuning into. And this is all about the 1111 portal that's opening. We can create the right world we want to live in, the right universe, if we tune into the right energy. And for so long, people didn't have a choice, they thought. But now people know they have a choice, absolutely. A lot of people say, I don't watch the news anymore. I don't watch, the same programs I used to watch anymore. Now I'm all about creating what I want to create. And that's what it's all about. The 1111 is about your life. This is your life. Don't get caught up in someone else's wave, taking you off the wrong track. And a lot of people are realizing this. The 1111 portal has opened. One of the biggest things that's happening right now is false algorithms. Once again, the 1111 wakes up. It wakes you up, right? So you have to realize, I told you that the film The Matrix wasn't a film, it was a documentary. One of the things Agent Smith could do was hack into the Matrix and morph into other people. Oh, we got an avocado. Deep divers, that's what happens when you hit that super chat and tip page, right? You give Ralph Smart some breakfast, because we ain't even had breakfast yet. Agent Smith was able to morph into other people. In other words, to hack into the algorithm and to deceive people. The same thing has happened because, you see, around 2012, the internet was actually a very honest place. The internet was a very free place, and awakening was at the highest level. And that coincided with the Mayan 2012 prophecy. The world ending, actually the world beginning. So that's the reason when I started in 2012 and 2013, all of the videos going viral, 2 million views, 3 million views. People were doing videos how to, just move to your higher self, 6 million views. Sound frequencies, 432 hertz, 20 million views. People were ready for the awakening. What the inorganic ones saw is that they had to hack into the algorithm. And they had to make sure that people do not see this. Let me shout out to Chevrotain. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So what happened was they realized that let me shout out to all deep divers. Hit that like button right now, share the video. Hit that like button right now, share the video. Hey, thanks for the wisdom. I appreciate that. Carly, you give me an avocado, deep divers. Give Ralph Smart some breakfast. That's what happens when you hit the super chat and the tip page. Carly did it. Thanks for the wisdom 33. Love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for sponsoring this war that we already won. So the film The Matrix wasn't a film, it was a documentary. In the film The Matrix, Agent Smith could morph into other people and hijack their whole body. The same thing happened, like I said, in 2012. All of those videos on spirituality, on becoming your greatest version, were getting over 5 million views, 6 million views. But they started to realize that actually we have to stop this because too many people are waking up. So this is where you had sites like World Star Hip Hop and all of these other sites. They were kind of creating viral videos which were kind of dumbing down the masses. And then YouTube followed suit, and then you had everything switched. At the same time, people were still hungry for the truth. So what you would find is that the truth was getting suppressed, when in actuality, that was the real stuff that was going viral. So you have to be very careful that you might see a video on YouTube with 5 million views, not realizing that is artificial. That's not a real number. That was created because they want to give the perception that that's what's popular. And then you might see a video on meditation. It's only got 500 views, but that video could really have 500,000 views. So you have to realize the 1111 is about realizing, don't believe everything that you see, because the inorganic ones have really tried to reverse everything. But the good news is that a whole new world is on the horizon, and people are now able to realize that we are awakening, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Celestial Ma'at, shout out to you. This is a huge confirmation. Thanks, Ralph. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, deep divers, hit that like button right now. Share this video. We just started. Hit that like button right now. Share this video. We just started. And, you know, people say, gosh, Ralph, you got so much energy. Let me give you a little story, deep divers. I actually took a little nap. I did a video just now on the 1111. Portal has just opened. And then I said, let me go live. And you know how I was able to go live? And this ties into the 1111. I took a little nap. You know, a lot of people don't realize that even the sleep cycle is off. A lot of people are not supposed to be sleeping at the same time. Even in old England, people would sleep twice a day. Twice a day. When you remind yourself what a nap can do during the afternoon, you can wake up and feel 10 times stronger. You can wake up and feel 10 times stronger. You have to realize the importance of sleep, not just how long you sleep for, but the set intervals, sleeping twice a day. It's not, some people say some people can sleep for 13 hours, they're still tired, because it's not how long you sleep for, it's about the intervals. Sleeping a few times a day for a few hours, you can have more energy. So you have to realize that this body vehicle, everyone's vehicle is totally different. There's a lot of people who are in bed right now. Sometimes they go to bed, they're not even tired. They're just tossing and turning. That's because that's not the time you're supposed to be sleeping. You're supposed to be up creating, manifesting. 5D music scene, shout out to you. You most definitely appreciated. Happy 11/11, gratitude and appreciation, respect. 11/11, thank you, mental. You rock, Ralph. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So we've got to remind ourselves the 11/11 energy calls us to realize, we have to realize we didn't come here to fit in, because we're custom made. We are custom made. And right now, you know, on the planet, with this 11/11 energy, you've got to realize you are custom made. You're not supposed to be doing what anyone else is supposed to be doing on the planet. You're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. You have to realize you are a totally unique creation. And therefore, you got to follow your own biorhythm. You got to follow your circadian rhythm. It's totally different than mine. It's yours. Even when it comes to your diet, you are supposed to be eating what is in alignment with your heart and soul. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. So you have to realize that this whole thing that everyone's supposed to be eating the same thing, everyone's supposed to be sleeping at the same time, is totally wrong. And the 11/11 reminds us that, hey, we have to be custom made. Now, let's also talk about deep divers, where the whole world is shifting. Where the whole world is shifting. Let's talk about what's happening right now on a geopolitical level. What I can tell you is that a lot of things are brewing. A lot of storms are brewing. And the reason why is because Pandora's box has been opened. There's nothing anybody can do about it. The truth is out there. This is the reason why things are getting ready to take place. I told you, something big is about to pop off. Have you noticed over the last 5 years, everything has been happening? Every year, something big has been happening. 2020, you had COVID-19. I can actually say that right now without getting banned. COVID-19, 2020, right? 2021, you had more of that. 2022, you had Russia, Ukraine, all of that stuff. 2023, you got Israel, Hamas, Gaza, all of that. There's always something happening. And right now, you have to realize that something is getting ready to happen. That's going to affect you. That's why I said pay attention to what's happening. You know, someone said, Ralph, why are you even talking about Israel and Palestine? Forget about that stuff. I said, no, because what happens in Palestine is going to affect you. What's going on with Israel and Palestine is going to affect you, just like how Russia and Ukraine is affecting you, because energy prices are going up. So you have to realize that everything is going to affect you. Everything that happens in the world, what's going on in Sudan, Congo, all of these things are going to affect you. It's part of your business to know what's going on the planet. It's part of your business to know what's happening with the rest of humanity, because if you don't, it's going to affect you. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. We just started. We got all day because Ralph Smart is pumped up, charged up. Let's talk about it. High Vibrational King, shout out to you. Yo, what's up, YouTube? All day, let's get it, man. Hey, I appreciate you. So we got to remind ourselves, we're in a time right now of reflection. I told you, this 1111 portal is symbolic of a remembrance day, right? It's symbolic of remembering something. And a lot of people right now are remembering Morpheus, right? Lawrence Fishburne, talking about a letter a slave was writing to his master. So people are reading things like this. These are real archives. And this is what the 1111 is symbolic of, to say, actually, once upon a time, human beings used to enslave other human beings. This is terrible. Well, everything is coming full circle. People can now actually see that the way we have lived was primitive, and it's time to never go back to that place. But the 1111 is to remember. Remember, right? You can forgive, you don't have to forget. And this is what it's all about. You see, right now on the planet, we got an avocado here. I'm getting fed right now. I'm excited. Feed me, deep divers. We ain't even had breakfast yet. We ain't even had breakfast yet. All eyes on me. Shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. All eyes on me, TMC. You're most definitely appreciated. So right now, 1111 deep divers, we're in a very, very powerful time. More avocados, deep divers. Let's get hungry right now. So Tracy is saying time for the return of the matriarch. Absolutely. You got to remind yourself, ancient Egypt was all matriarchal. In other words, as a child was born, they would get the name of the mother, not the father. We have to remind ourselves the 1111 is also a reminder of the divine feminine. The reason why is because I got a family member who's always like, Ralph, you know, women would never create this problem of wars, right? This is a masculine energy, and she's absolutely right. We've got to remind ourselves, people neglecting the feminine energy is the reason why the world is what it is today. The feminine energy is actually the salvation the world needs. What's happened on the planet is that there's an imbalance of energy, and the feminine energy has been suppressed, and what you have is a very yang energy, aggressive energy, warlike energy. Once again, the masculine energy is amazing, the feminine energy is amazing, but you need the balance. What's happened is that a lot of women have been programmed to be masculine. A lot of women have been programmed to be masculine. This was part of the Inorganic One's plan because they wanted to reduce the population. And to do this, you had to create the independent woman. A lot of women say, I don't need a man. I met a woman, she said, Ralph, I don't need a man. I said, how are you going to have a family? She said, we'll find a way. IVF. She said, I don't need a man. I said, oh my gosh, we got a problem. Right? A lot of women say, I don't need a man. And they mean it. So a lot of women don't even want men. They don't even need a man. So this is a big issue. Let me shout out to Todd Michael in the house. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you, Todd Michael. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, deep diver, share the video. So part of the 1111 is also part of realizing we need that balance between masculine and feminine energy. But especially the feminine energy has to come out of the woodworks. You see, for so long, you know, when I take a look around at what's going on with the world and the whole planet, I realize that there is a woman out there who knows the secrets and who knows the solutions. In fact, in ancient Greece, you had the oracle. She knew the secrets. She knew the solutions. And right now, you got some very powerful women out there who have the answers for humanity. And thank goodness they are here to help humanity. Because you see, there are things that a woman knows, like my grandma said, that men simply don't know. And what a woman knows, she would say, is that women give life, right? So for a woman seeing what's going on with Gaza, she'll say, wait a second, half of the 11,000 people killed by Israeli air raids are children. That's unacceptable. So it's actually the women who are going to come out and say, you know what, enough is enough. It's time for peace on the planet. Women should be furious because you're seeing the state of the planet and you are really an embodiment of Gaia herself to say, actually, we've got to create peace for our children. And what you're finding with this 11/11 shift is that more and more women are waking up to what they're here to do on the planet. Are we diving too deep divers? Todd Michael, shout out to you. I'm running for president of the United States as a Republican. Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who's here, deep divers. How you feeling today? Spread love. War is the dumbest things to ever happen. Joe Blaze. Absolutely. War is very silly. At the same time, you have to realize that how many times have you got into an argument with someone? How many times have you been mad at someone? Well, just imagine something on a bigger scale than that. It's very hard to have peace if you haven't found it within yourself. Peace takes work. It requires inner work. And a lot of people don't want to do that. The 11/11 shift, though, is here. And everything that's happening right now is a call for humanity to do better. You see, going to the next level, one thing I spoke about, deep dives, is challenge your opportunity. Challenge your opportunity. In your own life, a lot of you have many challenges right now. But there's another way of seeing it. It could be an opportunity. And that's what the 11/11 calls you to do. It calls you to see something in another perspective. Sometimes we lose something. I lost my wallet recently. I was very pissed off. At the same time, I realized that, okay, if someone finds that money, maybe they need it more than me. That's a perspective. And this is how you become enlightened. To realize that even if something bad has happened to you, there's always another way of seeing it. Sometimes you twist your ankle and you can't walk, but in that time you're taking to heal, you could read a book, you can do something else. So the 11/11 is realizing no matter what happens to you, there is always something positive, even in a negative situation. So a lot of people in the chat, shout out to everyone who's in the chat, hit that like button, deep dive, share the video. A lot of people have been saying that, school systems, the school system, they're finding out about the school system and what it does to so many people. And I used to work in a school, and you have to realize that, that's the reason why so many people are jacked up, screwed up, and confused on the planet. It starts from school. The right education can produce masterminds. The problem is you've received the wrong education. So have I. And the only way you can solve this problem is by making sure your own children don't go through the same hell that you went through. The system is a trap. A lot of people are homeschooling their children. A lot of people are homeschooling their children. A lot of people are teaching their own children. You see, you can't just expect your children to get everything in a school and then come home and then listen to you. They're not going to listen to you. If they're spending all of their time at school, why should they listen to you? A lot of parents think, hey, my child's at school, that's fine. No, that's where they're going to learn all the bad habits. So when they come home to you, they're picking up problems that weren't even there to begin with. And that's the reason why, as parents, you want to watch your children, because don't think because they're at school, that's all you got to do. No, when they go to school, they're going to be introduced to things where it's going to take them off their path if they're not careful. So part of the 11-11 is to realize that you can't just depend on the school to take care of your children. You got to make sure you do that job yourself. There's a reason why a lot of children are messed up, because they go to school and they're programmed. I had to just answer that for you. So deep dive is the 11-11 portal has opened. How are you feeling? How's the energy where you are, deep divers? How's the energy? Can we raise the free? Because deep divers, we've been talking for a little while. Can we raise the energy? Can we raise the energy? Can we raise the energy? We can raise the energy, right? I got a little Brazil mix. We can raise the energy. We can do a little samba. You want to do a little samba, baby? Can we do some Rio vibes? What do you know about the Rio vibes, deep dive? Can we do a bit of Rio vibes? Fear of missing anything. Shout out to you. Good ass prana. Shout out to you. We can do a bit of Rio vibes, right? I like the 80s, but we always do the 80s. We can do some... How do you feel about the Rio vibes, deep divers? You want a bit of carnival music? Okay, let's do the Rio vibes, right? Let's do the Rio vibes. Let's go. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the videos. Let's go. Right, we had to just go a little bit of Brazil, you know, because I speak Portuguese, deep divers. I actually lived in Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, Bahia, Recife, Fortaleza. So that's why I say I'm someone who has been around the planet, and what I know is there are good people everywhere, and that's what the 11-11 reminds us of. There are good people everywhere. We've got to remind ourselves in this day and time not to choose sides. One of the biggest things that can really free you, and that links to the 11-11, is to realize we don't want to choose sides. It's actually the sides which have caused this problem in the first place. choose yourself. Choose love. What is your religion, Ralph? Love. That's my religion. Because right now, the world is a mess because of division. And right now it's about one love, one humanity. (1111). Shout out to everyone on the 1111 deep divers. One of the biggest things as well is for you to set yourself a challenge. And I set myself a challenge many years ago. I said, okay, let me see if I can shake some shit up. Let me see if I can shake this whole thing up. And that's what I did. I'm just one person. Just imagine what you could do if you were consistent. Just imagine what you could do if you did it twice over. If you did it 3 times in a day, 4 times in a day, 5 times in a day. You see, the 1111 portal that's opening is to realize that you are far greater than you can ever imagine. And you've actually been limiting yourself. You know, I don't do 5 videos in a day, but I did one time I did do 5 videos in a day. And people enjoyed them. Right? So when I said, okay, it's time for me to start live streaming, I realized that that was the missing link from the equation. In your own life, there's something that you're not doing that you can do. And the 1111 is calling for you to do that. Don't be comfortable where you are. You know, comfort is a trap. Discomfort is where the growth happens. And I always realize this, that, you know, some days I'm like, hey, I've done a video. But then I see people going live. I'm like, shit, I want to talk to deep divers in live time. So you have to realize that we're in a time right now where what you've been doing is no longer enough. You're going to have to go to the next level. You're going to have to go to the next level and do something you've never done before. And for me, it was live streaming. I said, okay, I've got to get into this live streaming thing because I can do videos. But live streaming was a challenge. Live streaming was a challenge to say, okay, how do I set this up? It was a pain in the ass to get this whole thing set up. But I think we did it. Deep divers, right? I think we did it. Right? So you have to remind yourself that the 1111 is calling for you to level up. It's calling for you to realize you don't have to be what society wants you to be. When I was in school, people said, Ralph, you could be a football player. I love football. And in fact, I did want to be a soccer player, right? But I said, actually, I could be a lot more than that. I was telling my teachers I wanted to be a doctor. My teacher said, hey, you can't do that. I said, why not? They were trying to hold me back. And in life, you're going to have people who are going to try to keep you in a box. And you got to realize you can be so much more. DY Nasty, shout out to you. I recorded my first song today in 5 years. Shout out to you. That's what's up. The 1111 portal, deep divers, has opened. Right now, everything is being shaken up. You want the right people in your life. You want people who are going to be there. You don't want people who are playing games. And that's the reason why the 1111 gives you those eyes to see, okay, who's around me, who doesn't need to be around me. There are people in your life right now who don't need to be there. There are people in your life right now who are going to cause you more problems than you need. There are people in your life who tell you they're your friends, but these people are going to give you a headache and a big bill. And you got to say, I got to let these people go. The 1111 is about cutting people off who don't need to be there and welcoming in better energy. It's about the new beginning. It's about the new energy. It's about the new tribe, the new community. I told you, I don't want a lot of people around me. I don't need a lot of friends. I only need the right people. And that's what the 1111 portal is all about. Forget about saying, I know this person, that person, this person. I tell you, one of those people is going to give you more problems than you need. You want the right people in your life. Oh. You want me to do a little samba, baby? Shout out to you. Michael, shout out to you. Ralph, thank you for spreading the truth and love, my brother. Can you do a little samba for the deep dive? It's a little samba, baby. Little samba, baby. That's a little samba, baby. Right? Let me play you a little bit of relaxing music, right? Shout out to everyone who's here.
Swear your love is ecstasy. Get high when you're next to me. I'm in the clouds. Your touch is my remedy. Lose all of my sanity. I love the sound when you tell me I'm the only one. Way you got me feeling makes me come undone. Baby, you make it look easy. At the top, but you come meet me. Rise and shining like the sun. You're the coffee in my cup. Couldn't ever get enough of your love, taking me up. Oh, don't you hesitate. Need you every day. Get lost in you, you're my hideaway. Keeping me awake. Know you love the taste. I could do forever in your arms. I swear I'm losing all my senses. You fit like the sky fit into heaven. Want you every way, need you every day. Baby, don't you hesitate, hesitate. Tied like a shooting star. Boy, you're like a work of art. Say that.
You enjoying that song, Deep Divers, right? Sometimes I just want to share good music with you. I just want to share good music with you, Deep Divers. That's the 1111 love, right? I got tunes, Deep Divers. I got tunes right now. I got tunes that's going to help you raise your frequency. Let's not forget the 1111 portal that's opened is about raising your frequency, raising your vibration. You know, there was a whole study showing that in certain cities, they played classical music in town squares and centers, and people were calmer, lower blood pressure, healthier. Don't forget about the power of music. Let me repeat that. Don't forget about the power of music to not only use it as an alchemical force, but to change your life and create the reality you want. Tibetan bowls, right? When you play music at a certain frequency, you can change your whole entire reality. One of the biggest things the 1111 portal reminds us of is that, like the great Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's all there is. R4, do a little samba. I've been doing a little samba, baby. Are you doing a little samba, baby, Deep Divers? Right? So, energy, frequency, and vibration. The 1111, and this is crazy. This is crazy, Deep Divers. Check this out. I told you, the universe reveals its secrets to people who dare to follow their hearts. Ralph Smart still making videos. I had to dare to follow my heart. The tennis player Novak Djokovic, right? He didn't want to take the shot. He was ridiculed. Now this guy seems to be winning every single tennis tournament. What the hell is going on? He didn't even take the shot. But he was someone who stood up for what he believed in. And that's how to open the 1111 portal. I'm just giving you examples of what's going on right now. The new earth is here, deep divers. The new earth is here. You know, this is a very exciting time right now on the planet. Very, very exciting time, because we're in a world right now where start investing into your childhood passions. Start doing what you've always wanted to do. I haven't been skating for a long time, but I went back to start skating again. I'm a grown ass kid, deep divers. And that's good. That's what the 1111 is all about. You want to go back to your old childhood habits. That's when you were most happy. You know, people get caught up in society. They get caught up in a job and they get taken away from what they're really here to do. I went out, bought a skateboard, started skating again. Fell on my ass. It was good. It was a good experience. So that's what the 1111 is all about. Like I told you, you have to realize, you know, a lot of people do not realize there's a great poet who says, we live in a flash of light. We live in a flash of light. I'm sure a lot of you know people who have passed away. I'm sure a lot of you know someone who's passed away. This planet is an airport. Like my grandma would say, we're passing strangers. This planet is an airport. People are checking out, checking in, coming, leaving. You have to realize that you have to manifest what it is you came here to manifest. And that's what the 1111 reminds you of. You haven't got time to waste. You have to say, hey, I'm here for a limited amount of time. I have to make sure I'm in my purpose. Once I am, mission complete. Mission complete. But you don't want to go another day knowing that this is not the life you're supposed to be living. So the 1111 calls us to get into alignment with who we really are. To get into alignment with who we really are. That's what the 1111 calls us to do. To get into alignment with our higher nature, our higher purpose, and our higher calling. The 1111 is all about alignment. Are you in alignment today? Shout out to everyone who's here. How you feeling, deep divers, on the 1111? You know, the biggest challenge, you know, a lot of people have is to make sure they can be themselves and still make it. This is the biggest obstacle that you have, that you can just be yourself unapologetically and create financial freedom, health, and abundance, and all of that good stuff. And this is the 1111 secret. That yes, you can. I did it. You can definitely do it. We're in a world right now where a lot of people think, hey, thank you so much for that. Coming in with the dollar signs, the heavy dollar signs. Jacqueline, shout out to you. Hi, Ralph. I recently started a new job. And I'm staying in shape and things are looking up for me. Can I still keep my corporate job but keep my vibration and frequency high there? Can we still be in the matrix but be a positive force at the same time? Woo! Let me give you a round of applause for that question. Let me just read that once again, deep divers. Coming in on the tip page. Hi, Ralph. I recently started a new job I'm staying in shape and things are looking up for me, can I still keep my corporate job but keep my vibration and frequency high there? Can we still be in the matrix but be a positive force at the same time? Great question. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. Like I say, depending on where you are, some people are going to have to hunker down and do that matrix job. I was doing a matrix job for a long time, deep divers, and there's no shame in it. If you have to do your regular 9 to 5 to feed your family, keep doing that. There's no shame in that. If that's what you have to do right now, that's what you have to do. But you have to realize you don't want to be there forever. You have to realize that you're only using this as a springboard to be where you really want to be. But you're always going to have to realize you can never truly be out of the matrix and the greatest positive force you can be if you're serving two masters. There will always be a conflict of interest, because the matrix is greedy. It wants all of your energy. It wants all of your energy, your time, your energy, and it wants you to keep quiet. When I was working in a school, I started to speak in the staff room about reality. The teachers looked at me like, What? At that moment, I realized the secret. Wrong place, wrong time to talk about that stuff. I'm not here to do that. You can't serve two masters. You got to make a choice. You can't be in the matrix and then be out of the matrix. You got to choose. If you're in the matrix, be in the matrix. If you're out of it, be out of it. A lot of people want to start preaching to their co-workers. Hey, do you know about this? Do you know? You're not there to do that. You're there to do the job that you were paid to do. So you have to realize that you can't play both sides of the fence. When you're in the matrix job, just do the matrix job. You're going to save yourself a whole lot of hassle. Because if you try and wake people up in your job, you're going to get fired. If you try and wake people up in your job, you're going to lose your job. You know why? Because that's not what you're there to do. I can speak whatever I want to say. I can say whatever I want to say because I've created my own job. I don't have to answer to anybody. But if you have to answer to someone, you better abide by their rules, because if not, you're going to get fired. Yes, you can be a positive force wherever you are, but you cannot really be the truest version of yourself when you're in the matrix. You will always be hiding behind a mask, and therefore you cannot be 100% positive. So you can't be a positive force in the world 100%. But what you can do, wherever you are working, you can always say, I'm not going to be here forever. Use it as a motivation to say, I'm going to work hard here and then leave and say bye, and then be somewhere where I can truly be a positive force and the truest reflection of who I really am. But like I told you, be very careful about waking people up in the matrix, in a job, because you will get fired. Because once they say, okay, there's this woman here, she's always talking. A lot of people, they don't want that. They don't want you waking up other co-workers, giving them the secrets. Great question. Deep Divers, the 1111 portal has opened. I'm back. And I'm going to be doing more of these live streams, because this is so fantastic just to talk to all of you. I got a whole new setup, Deep Divers. I'm excited. And, you can let me know what topics you want. You can let me know any topic you feel, Ralph, you should go live on this. We can talk about it. We can even talk about mainstream stuff. even celebrities, whatever you want, whatever you feel is important, we can talk about it. We can talk about it all. But that's the weird thing. Right now, it's like, it's not even, and this is also part of the 11/11, that their world is becoming less interesting. You know, once upon a time, it was like, hey, let's talk about a celebrity. Now we are the celebrity. So let's talk about ourselves, deep divers. You know, it's like, when I see what's going on with those so-called celebrities, I'm like, there's nothing happening there. You are the celebrities. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about you, deep divers. You are the real celebrities. So we have to create our own Oscars, our own Grammys. We got to create all of it. Right? Because you see, this is where the party is, the awakening. And this is what the 11/11 is all about. We are the actual stars. We are the star seeds. We are the stars. We are the real celebrities. Because sometimes I listen to other people with information. I'm like, wow, I'm a fan of you. Sign my autograph. Right? Give me your autograph, right? So we got to remind ourselves right now that, you know, people are more inspired by people, regular people who are doing the work. So there's a whole shift, a whole transfer of power and energy. And this is all part of the 11/11. The first will be last, and the last will be first. Now, there's also a shift in diet and nutrition. In diet and nutrition, you know, this is also part of the 11/11. Am I still plant-based? Absolutely. I've been plant-based for over 18 years. Is it the only way? Absolutely not. You got to eat whatever works for you. But I've realized that there's a whole shift in terms of people wanting to eat better foods. And that's a good thing. And you have to realize that, you know, going plant-based it's not easy in this world, but the benefits are so many. How many of you know that you could be eating better? That's just an honest question. How many of you out there know you all could be eating better? And, you know, the crazy thing is that food is vibration. And this is what the 11/11 reminds us of. Food is, let me bring up some fruits and vegetables, because I got a whole live setup. What fruits do you want, deep divers? Let me bring up some fruits and vegetables. Fruits 4K. I got so many videos that I can just pull up. Let me pull up some strawberries, because strawberries are very interesting, right? So, deep divers, 7-day vegan challenge, strawberries. Do you know that strawberries have more vitamin C than oranges? Let me repeat that. Strawberries have more vitamin C than oranges. I said strawberries have more vitamin C than any other fruit you're going to eat. So a lot of people don't even know how powerful strawberries are. I mean, they taste fantastic. They look fantastic. But also, they have more vitamin C than oranges. And that's the reason why when you eat strawberries, when it's hot, you feel amazing, because you're getting all of those vitamins, those minerals. So we have to really realize the benefits of strawberries, watermelons, and shout out to Dr. Sabi as well, who brought that information. Todd Michael, shout out to all of you. Shout out to Todd Michael, thank you. Hey, we got R4X coming in on the tip page. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Let me see. Deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Got Michael Verano. Ralph, thank you for spreading the truth and love, my brother. Can you do a little samba? We did that. So basically, deep divers, I got a question in on the tip page from Unix R4X. What is the cause? What is the cause existence of fear? False evidence appearing real. That's it. False evidence appearing real. The 1111 portal has opened, deep divers, right? We're absorbing this energy right now, and we're observing this day. One of the biggest things right now with this new energy is to realize, don't stop. And realize you are being called to do it. I was being called to do it. What am I talking about? I was being called to step up. I've been reading so much. You know, how many times, deep divers, have you read a book? You're reading this, you're reading that. And now you're like, now I want to teach. Now I want to open my mouth and talk about it. That's what the 1111 is all about. It's about you graduating. It's about you saying right now, I've read all of those books on the law of attraction. Now I want to put it into action. It's about going from reading to practical, theory to taking action. Do you know how many people I know who tell me, read this book on manifestation, but they haven't manifested anything? In their house, all they got is books, 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 and more books. But in their own life, they haven't really manifested what they want. And the 1111 is about saying, okay, what about taking action? What about taking action? And this is what we're all being called to do. Take action. If you want to manifest it, go out there, go and get it. Go out there, go and get it. Because like I say, you can read as many books as you want. But if everything you're reading is not bringing you back something in return, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You know, I stopped reading so much because I'm like, I got to get busy. I got to get into action. I got to go out there, fail, make mistakes, learn about myself. And that's how great manifestations happen. You can read till the cows come home. But if that's all you're doing, you're being lured into a false sense of security. The 1111 portal has opened. Deep divers, we're in a powerful time right now. Powerful time. I've got so much more energy, deep divers, to share with you. So much energy. But I just wanted to give you this little 1111 message that right now a portal has opened for your greatest manifestations. And you must affirm and set your intention on what it is you want to manifest from this moment on. I'll be back doing more live streams. I had to get this whole thing set up, but we're good to go. The 1111 is here, deep divers. Let's choose love. Let's make the world a better place. And let's raise the frequency. I want to thank everyone who's joined me on this episode of the 1111 portal has opened. Shout out to everyone who's been here. Let me give you all a round of applause. Thank you to everyone who's been diving deep. And like I say, deep divers, I'll be back doing more live streams, more of this live setup, because I really like this live setup. And like I say, deep divers, happy 11/11. May all of your dreams come true. And we had a fun time here. We had a fun time. Beautiful show. And much love to everyone who's here. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. Hit that like button, deep divers, share the video. And to rock it out, we can go 80s. We can go 80s. Let's go 80s, deep divers, because, you know, we love the 80s, and so does the cat down the road. Let's go 80s. Let's go.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning.
Dom the Mongo.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. It's a choice. So happy to manifest whatever you want, to be whatever you want. It's a choice. Freedom is a must. We have to become the school.
Deep divers of planet Earth, once again, thank you to everyone who's here. Much love and harmony, and thank you for diving deep. Thank you very much for diving deep with Infinite Waters. The 1111 portal has opened, and you are amazing. Always remember that the universe works in your favor when you affirm it too. So, deep divers, I'll be back. Much love to everyone who's here. Peace, peace, peace.
Young legend in the making. Heard they was salty, so I shake them. Yeah, I heard them hating, but a nigga been patient. In my room just pacing. Marathon lifestyle, We've been running different races, taking the risk is the safest. My people been catching cases, so I'm stacking up faces, trying to show them different places. Cause they only need a way out. I ain't had much but stand down. Stand up and we stand out. Looking for a handout, but let me know how that pan out. Your boys sweeter than Pop-Tarts, out here trying to keep up with the right side. You can catch us with the baddies in the high card. If they try to pull us over, it is not ours. Ayy, I got a feeling like a pop star. She says she's sick and tired of love, she just want more. I know they think